Hello and welcome to the stream. It is time for rugby once again. Rugby's back here in the UK. It's Harlequins against Sale Sharks. My name is Brandon Smith. I am the guy behind Brandon Smith Rugby, and it's really exciting. Oh, let me turn that off. And rugby's back. Rugby is finally back. It seems like it's been such a long time here, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. Of course, in New Zealand, we've had Super Rugby, but finally we have rugby back here in the UK. And it's the Gallagher Premiership, as I've said before, kicking off once again between Sale Sharks and the Harlequins. If you're new here to the channel, subscribe, guys. Free to do. Get your comments down below. I want to hear what you've got to say. Let me know your predictions. Any thoughts on the game? Any thoughts on the teams? We'll go through the teams in just a second. Kickoff isn't until 7:45. But guys, I want to hear your predictions. So let me know in the comments down below. What are you thinking ahead of this game? Are you excited for rugby to be back? What's it going to be like without fans in the stadium? I've got it on the TV to my left here. And yeah, it looks very empty, which it is. But it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the game, how that affects the players, and how they are going to be affected during this time. But welcome to the stream, guys. It's fantastic to have you here. Really excited for this one. Hello to Facundo Prado Valdez. Hello, mate. How you doing? Welcome to the stream if it's your first time. Really good to have you along, mate. I hope you enjoy this one. Subscribe if you're new. Predictions, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments down below. Welcome to some new people in. We have a few more people watching now, so welcome. I'm not going to be showing the full game. I don't want to be, I don't want to put that out there and say that I'm not showing the whole game. But you can watch it with me. We can put our opinions across. We can chat about the game. We can chat about big decisions that maybe happen in the game. We can chat about absolutely everything to do with rugby here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe. Louis C, opinion on Hill. I'll get to that in just a second. That is something that I do want to chat about. Facundo says Harlequins 23, Sale 28. Interesting prediction. But both sides, of course, have made some really good signings. We will get to them in just a second. I will show you both sets of teams in a very short second now. Welcome to the stream. If you're new, of course, be sure to get involved in the comments down below. They are talking to Hill on the TV right now, again, his thoughts pre-game. But we will be getting into that game very shortly. Let me show you the teams then. I'll just share my screen so you guys can see what I'm going to share you. Here we go, so you can see me twice. If we jump onto here, I'm hoping you are able to see this. This is the Harlequins team. Let me just double check on my phone that this is coming through all okay for you. Let me have a little look. Which it is fantastic. So what we have here, this is the Harlequins team, the Homes Tide, playing at the Twickenham Stoop this evening. It's a warm evening, let me tell you that. It is warm. So at fullback, we have Mike Brown, the happiest man in rugby. We have Earl on the wing with Lang and Marchant playing as a centre partnership with this man, Chris Ashton, playing at the winger position against his former side. So pretty much since leaving his team, first game back, and he's playing against his old team. Really interesting to see how he goes. Marcus Smith at 10, very exciting young fly half, going to be brilliant for England once Owen Farrell steps aside, but he's really exciting. Really interesting to see how he'll do today. A lot of pressure on these young players because these are the games that people are going to be watching because it's the first game back, so a lot of people will be watching this. Landajo then at 9 at scrum half, no Danny Kerr today. Don Brandt at 8 with Chisholm and Chris Robshaw at 7. Of course, Robshaw heading over to Major League Rugby very shortly at the end of this season. So it'll be interesting to see how he bows out over the next few weeks. Simmons and Louis at a lock with our favourite player in the world, Joe Marler, playing in the number 1 shirt in the front row. Will we see some controversy from him? Any comments during the game? We'll have to wait and see because, of course, now on the ref's mic, we're going to pick up a lot more from the players due to the lack of crowd. So that is something certainly to be conscious of. Then at the hooker position, we have Scott Baldwin, of course, being a Welshman, former Welsh player. Former Welsh player right there. And then we got Kerrod then playing at the 3 position. On the bench then, we got Gray, Garcia Botta, Collier, Lamb, Lorde, Evans, Steele, and the CK on the bench. Lasike is a really exciting player. He's actually leaving Harlequins at the end of the season. He's heading over to France. It's a bit of a weird one, but we will go with it. But he's headed over to France anyway. But that is the Harlequins team. Let's take a look at the Sale Sharks team. Let me get it up here. That is certainly not what I wanted to click on. Here we go. Here's the Sale Sharks team. So at fullback, we have Hammersley, we have McGuigan at fullback, sorry. On the wing there, Tuolangi then, of course, the main man, the main guy we're really watching. The reason I got the Samoan shirt on today, Tuolangi playing at centre for his new side, Sale Sharks. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about his move to Sale Sharks? Are you a fan of it? Are you against it? Has he gone for money, or has he just gone for a new challenge? Big reports about him going to France. He was linked heavily to Racing, but he didn't go, but he stayed in England. What does that say about his England career? Marlon Yard on the wing, always very, very exciting. Dupree at 10, and of course, World Cup winner Faf de Klerk then playing at 9. At number 8, we have another South African, Dupree's. Tom Curry then, really excited to see how he goes. He's been fantastic. He's a world-class player. I'm really excited to see how he goes. Ross then as the captain. De Jager then at 5. Dupree's once again then at flank. A lot of South Africans in this team. John then at 3. Van der Merwe then at 2. And Oosthuizen then at the number 1 shirt. On the bench then, few options, of course. Langdon, Harrison, Cooper, Woolley, Phillips, Curry, Cliff, McGinty, of course, the USA fly-half, and Solomona there at on the bench. So those are the two teams. So there's about just under 10 minutes until kickoff. So predictions in the comments down below, please, guys. That'll be fantastic to get your predictions. If you're new here, subscribe, and also make sure you share the stream with your rugby friends. It'd be fantastic to get their thoughts on this game. So yeah, those are the teams. There's a few comments here for you. Who is the best flanker in the world? That's an interesting question. Let me have a think about it, and I'll get back to you. I'll try not to be biased being Welsh, but we will get back to that question. That is for sure. But guys, comments. Let me know down in the comments down below your predictions. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win this one? Let me know. I'm really excited to hear what you've got to say. The best flanker in the world. It's a tough one. There's a couple of honourable mentions. First of all. Again, I think people like Curry can play flanker. I think Tipperick, maybe a few years ago, you'd have put him into that bracket, but I don't think he's at that same level maybe as he was. Of course, Facundo there mentioning Pocock over the ball. You know, if we're talking about over the ball only, there is no one like him. He is so good. He's so reliable. He honestly is just ridiculous. Being a Welshman, of course, I need to mention someone such as Sam Warburton. When he was playing, I thought he did the really hard work. I also think Navidi for Wales, but then you look at someone like Curry at England. You look at someone like Hamish Watson at Scotland, who's done really well. Khaleesi, of course, at South Africa. There's so many names out there. It's really tough to pick one, but I think Pocock is a very solid shout. Let's come back to your thoughts there, Louis, on Hill. I really like him. I think he's brought something into Sale Sharks, a mentality that we can win. We can win stuff. And that maybe was missing from Sale Sharks a few years ago, but they have a team now which is certainly able to win. And also, you got to think Savvies aren't in the competition anymore. They're just not there. Of course, they'll be relegated next season. But it'll be really exciting to see what they can do. This is a big opportunity for them and for Exeter, really. Exeter are really their main rivals. We know that. But it's going to be interesting to see how, of course, Sale live up to the challenge tonight. It's important for both teams, isn't it? Who gets the win? Who does the best? It's important to see who is going to have the best impact on this game. As always, make sure to subscribe. Henry Elliott coming in with a big prediction there. Sale 25, Harlequins 24. I'll give you my predictions literally just before kickoff. But that's an interesting prediction. Let me know who you're supporting as well. I want to know how many Quins fans are here, how many Sale Sharks fans are here, or are you just here because rugby's back once again and we are buzzing to have it back once again. Let me know what you're drinking as well. I've got a simple cup of tea myself. But I'll be interested to hear your predictions, so get them down in the comments down below. Let more some people drift into the stream. Welcome if it is your first time to the channel. Very, very good to have you here. Let's get you in, guys. Let me know your thoughts, of course, on the teams as we looked at them just a second ago. Let me know your thoughts. We're getting very close to kickoff here. 4 minutes to go until that one kicks off. So really, really excited for that one. Let's get that rolling at the bottom. Beautiful stuff. So Harlequins team just once again is coming up on my TV. We have gone over that. So we know who is playing for who. Excited to see how this one goes. I'm just buzzing to have rugby back, in all honesty. You know, I've missed rugby. And yeah, I've really missed it. Gregor, good to see you, mate. How are we doing? Really good to see you. Thank you for all the support over the channel over the past few months. It's been very much appreciated. Going for Sale Sharks, you are. Interesting to see that. I think it's hard to look past Sale, isn't it? It is hard to look past them, but I mean, everyone's really here for Manu, maybe, and de Klerk, but not drinking. Gregor's not drinking tonight. It is a Friday night, though. It's Friday night. Opinions on Owen Farrell, Facundo. I like Farrell. I think he's world class. I think that he's such a good player. The only thing I'm not a fan of, I don't think he's as good as a leader as people think, because he gets into certain situations and he makes stupid mistakes. And he just doesn't have the calm head. In Wales against England, in the Six Nations, he was captain, of course. England were storming ahead of us, absolutely storming ahead of us. And yet we started coming back. And a good captain would have had the game management to know that actually I need to ensure that my players are okay, that we're holding this out, that we're being sensible with our decisions. And he didn't have that. But otherwise, technically, fantastic player. Love to watch him play. But yeah, he's a fantastic player. Henry Elliott, I'm supporting Sale as a Bath fan, just only being 2 points ahead of Harlequins in 6th. So you're doing this for Bath. Interesting. But yeah, very interesting to see that. I'm going to put my predictions out there. I think Sale could win this quite easily, if I'm being totally honest. I think this could be, I'm going to say maybe Sale by 15. This could be Sale by 15, maybe more. It's really important in the early stages who gets the best start. Again, match fitness is going to be really interesting to see what match fitness is going to be like. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that, what their fitness is going to be like. Players coming out now on the pitch again. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I want to hear what you're thinking, who you backing for this one. Thank you very much for joining me. It is very much appreciated. Rugby is back, ladies and gentlemen. It is finally back. We've waited a while here in the Northern Hemisphere for any really competitive rugby, and I'm buzzing to have it back. Facundo, once again with another question for you. Who wins this year's trophy? I think it's between Sale and Exeter. I think it's really Exeter's to lose, because obviously Savvy's on in the question. I think it's going to be a Sale-Exeter final. That's what I would think it would be. But that would be a brilliant final, wouldn't it? Sale against Exeter. So yeah, I can only really see them two teams really competing properly, but I'm very, very excited for this one. Teams are out, everyone wearing masks, of course. Didn't think it'd be appropriate for me to wear a mask for this stream. Not too long to go now. So how is it going to go? How is Manu going to do? You know, Manu, we've spoken a little bit about him. We've spoken about, you know, his move. Why did he make the move? Let me know in the comments what you think about his moves. Is it money related? Again, rugby is very different to football, where the financial aspect of a deal is not very often said and is not very often put out there. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the players are out now. I do want to allude to this point that they're out. They're wearing T-shirts saying no to racism. Racism has no place in rugby, which is so important. On the programme, Hugo Monnier was chatting about it earlier on. And yeah, absolutely agree with him. There's no place for racism in rugby. The beauty of rugby is you can walk into any bar in the world. If there's rugby on, you sit next to the guy next to you or lady or whoever, and you can have a pint with them because they love rugby, because they're rugby fans. You can have a chat with them. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can have a pint with them and chat about it, and there's no room for any discrimination in rugby, and that's certainly something the players are expressing now. Lots of them are on their knees, but we're ready to go here. Guys, if you're new, there's a few new popped in now. Let me know in the comments who you're backing to win, who's got this one. Again, a lot of you have already been very active in the comments, but let me know predictions. I'm going with Sale by 15 points. I'm going to say Sale 30, Harlequins 15. That's what I'm going for, but I could be wrong. So let me know in the comments down below. But it is, of course, going to be Sale Sharks kicking off here. We're ready to go. I'm going to turn you around just a little bit, just so I can see the screen ever so slightly. I've got Worcester shirt up there, but that is just... It's not that I'm a Worcester fan. It's just that it was the Gallagher Premiership team shirt. But we're ready to go here. Finally, rugby's back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, subscribe. Let's get to it. So, ball up here into just outside the 22 of Harlequins. And Harlequins actually looking to play from here, but Marcus Smith decides to clear it down the field. Again, a very interesting kind of feel to this game due to the lack of fans, of course. Let me close my door. Just put it. Predictions, guys, in the comments down below. I'm going to give you another minute to get your predictions in. I don't want any predictions at the end of the game for sure, but let me know your thoughts on this one. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams pace themselves for this, because we do have to remember that these players have not played a professional game of rugby. Although they may have training games and things like that, the reality is none of them have played at this level for maybe 5 months or more. And so that initial 10, 15 minutes could be really tough for them as they ease themselves into it. I think Sale have a penalty here. They do, for holding onto the ball, not releasing. Great work there by the flanker, of course, of Sale. Sale decides to kick for the corner. This is going to be interesting to see what move they go from here. Chris Robshaw on TV at the minute. Get your questions in the comments as well. We'll try and answer them throughout the game, but also especially during half-time. Van der Merwe here to put the line out just probably about halfway into the 20-metre, and they've lost the line out. And Harlequins here, if they can use this well, they could easily break at this point. They could break here very well. I think they're just going to slow things down, though. Just steady the ship, ensure everyone is in position, pick and go, make the base very strong and solid, and then they can clear their lines. Landajo here, the scrum half, weighing up his options. That battle of scrum half is going to be really interesting between, of course, Faf and, of course, Landajo. So it's going to be really interesting to see that one, how that goes, how that pans out. It's going to be interesting to see it, for sure. Again, get your thoughts in the comments down below. Chris Ashton on screen there for Harlequins. A scrum for the Harlequins here. 2 minutes 50 into this one. Landajo to feed the ball in. Again, there's a lot of talk about the scrums with COVID, about how that was all going to work, whether it would work, in fact. But it seems to have done okay. It seems to have done okay. And I think Sale have gone in here a little bit too quickly. Of course, we're going to try and get through as many games as possible over the stream and try and stream as many as we can for you. Of course, we've got the Pro 14 coming back at the end of the month, pretty much. And then we have a lot of Gallagher Premiership. And then we've got the resumption of the Six Nations, of course. Then we've got this mini 8-team tournament where, if you don't know, of course, we have the normal Six Nations teams. and Fiji and Japan have been invited in, and they'll be coming into this one, and we'll be seeing what they're like and how they are, and how they'll do. Really, I think it's really interesting for Fiji, for Japan, to really show what level they are at this point. First 4 minutes, it's been a scrappy one. It has been a scrappy one. No one really getting the momentum. No one really getting the full grip on the game. To be honest, it's been a bit scrappy here and there, but maybe someone just needs a 3 points or something like that, a penalty or something like that, just really to rest everything. Marcus Smith there making a little mistake, taking his eye off the ball, but that's just rustiness, I think. But he's taking a bit of a knock. But another scrum here, scrum to Sale Sharks just before the halfway line. And Sale have the fourth best scrum rate in the Gallagher Premiership, 92%. And so you'd expect them to be using the scrum to good effect today for this one. So Faf to feed it in. And it's a very solid scrum. Harlequins pushing hard here, and Harlequins may have won this one, and they have. Both teams went up, though, so it's going to be interesting to see which way the ref goes with this one. And both sets of players have some pretty big cuts here. Marlow with a huge cut across his forehead. He's going to have to go off to get a blood checkup on that one. I think it's just going to be another reset of the scrum. Of course, quite a few players making their debuts for their new teams. Of course, we've got Manu, we've got Lou Diaga for Sale as well. Ashton for Harlequins, of course. So there's a lot of players coming into this one for the first time. And it's actually raining down at the Stoop in London. I'm up here in North Wales. It's beautiful evening. It's hot, though. It's very hot. It's probably pretty humid down there, but here we go. Reset of the scrum from the same position. It's so good to have rugby back, though, isn't it? It's so good to have rugby back. Faf de Cloak to feed the ball in. And once again, the scrum just kind of collapses, but the ref lets play go on. He just kind of wants to get the ball. And here come Sale Sharks. And there's a lovely cut through from the fly half. Faf with quick ball. And here we go. Diaga down the middle. And he's stopped just inside the 22 of the Harlequins. Now here comes Faf through to the forwards. Quick ball here. And Sale could really be looking good. Oh, and he's dropped it. It's wet conditions. And it's dropped, and it will be, I believe, a line out to the Harlequins. But, man, that was an opportunity. That was a heck of an opportunity right there. Dupree's had a lovely break there for Sale. Ran straight through, lovely break. And yet, just the conditions, I think, really made it a lot harder. Ross also making a lovely break there for Sale, but that just shows a little bit of what they can do, of what they are capable of, because this side is very capable. So really exciting to see how they go. Currently 0-0, 7 and a bit minutes gone. Luke Pearce as the ref. I really like Luke Pearce as a ref. I think he's a good referee. So really like him as a referee. Scrum goes down straight away. I just think it's footing as well. I think that's something that World Rugby needs to think about scrums, about resetting scrums, because that seems to happen all the time. And it's very, very frustrating, of course, for fans watching and for players as well. Another scrum here, though. There's a lot of time being spent on scrums doing this one. But I'm buzzing that rugby is finally back. That's all I care about, to be honest, is that rugby is back. Let's get to some of your comments. I'm afraid Hopper, I'm afraid I can't show you the stream just for copyright reasons, but you can stay with me. I'll keep you updated on how everything's going. So far, 0-0, mate. Been a very stop-start kind of game. It's not been a flowing game, let's say. Again, it's just rustiness, isn't it? Sale had a lovely little break a few minutes ago, but other than that, nothing really happened so far. Jordan Allen, hey up, Brandon, how's it going? Yeah, really good, mate. Fantastic for you to join us on our stream. Hope you're doing well. Subscribe if you're new. Who you're backing today? Who you're supporting? Or you're just glad to have rugby back? Because that's how I feel. I'm just glad that we got some rugby back on here on the channel. It's weird because up here in North Wales, it's absolutely roasting. It's beautiful. It's been beautiful all day. I've been sweating all day, to be honest. Pretty grim. But down there in London, it's absolutely pissing it down. So, yeah, interesting. Marcus Smith with a lovely little cut there. He's an exciting fly half for England. Again, though, it's just a very scrappy game, this one. Nobody really finding their rhythm yet, and I don't think the conditions going to help. But hopefully, as players settle into the game, we'll get a bit more free flowing rugby. We'll see more opportunities, and we'll see players trying a few more things. Line out here to Sale Sharks just inside the 22. Van der Merwe, of course, to put this one in. Jack Hopper, what do you think of Tuilangi, and how do you think he'll do today? I think that's a world-class signing. I think Tuilangi on his day, I'm not saying he's one of the best centres in the world, because I think he needs to prove that consistently, but I think his ability to break through defences, the way he led the defence for England against Ireland in Dublin, I think in the 2019 Six Nations, maybe 2018, he was exceptional that day, and he just, honestly, incredible. And on his day, he can be an incredible centre. And if he can stay fit and have time of full fitness at Sale the end of this season and the next season, and through next year's Six Nations and this autumn, of course, with the 18 tournament that we're having, he's got to be starting for the Lions, in my opinion. Him and Jonathan Davis as a partnership, I think it's really exciting. But there are obviously, of course, other players that we could consider. But I really like Tuilangi. I think it's a fantastic signing. There's a lot of questions about why did he leave Leicester? Why did he feel the need to do that? And why go to Sale? Because I don't see Sale being as rich or much richer, let's say, than Leicester. And Leicester have gone and signed a lot of good players in the meantime. So there is money there. Now, here's an opportunity, but Faf calls the mark. A lovely little chip over by the Quins, but I think they were playing the advantage there. But that's a great question, Jack. Keep your questions coming, folks. Let me know any thoughts you got on the game, or any questions about any players, or anything really to do with rugby. Let me know. Still 0-0 here, 12 minutes in. I will keep you updated as we go. Harlequins having their first real moment here of dominance in this one. And they've gone for the corner 5 meters out. It's a line out for them. This is a great opportunity for them, hopefully, to do something. Scott Baldwin throws this one in, finds Chisholm there. Landagio at the back, directing his forwards, and the driving maul's going forward. And Sale somehow have turned this over, which is pretty incredible defence. And Sale have the ball. And again, I just think it's the conditions, man. I just think it's the conditions. I don't see. Yeah, I just think it's the conditions. And Harlequins have got the penalty here. Sale penalised for not releasing. Now, this game is scrappy, man. This game is very, very scrappy. So I couldn't tell you really. I mean, it's a scrappy one. It's a scrappy one. So Tom Curry steals it here. That's a lovely little steal. What happens here? I just don't think he releases the ball. Yeah, he just doesn't release the ball. The ball isn't released. And that's what the penalty is given for. Jack Hopper says this is a really, really interesting comment. Well, I saw that Tuolangi fell out with a coach and wanted to move, so his Sale or move to China or the USA. I mean, there were big rumours linking him to France as well, to Racing in particular. And Marcus Smith, just as we were talking there, I was just added 3 points to the Harlequins. First 3 points of the game. It's taken 14 minutes to come, but finally we have some points on the board. It's 3-0 to Harlequins. That is fantastic to see. Yeah, Jack, I'll just come back to your comment in just a second, mate. Sale kicking back off here. But hopefully that will relax both teams. But back to your comment, Jack, about Tuolangi. He fell out with the coach. I wasn't aware of that. So it's an interesting decision for him. And it's clearly pretty obvious that he wants to continue to play for England, because otherwise he's going to pack his bags, headed off to France, headed off to the States, of course. We've seen a lot of players do that and earn the big money. So, it's fantastic to see that he has decided to stick with it. You got hiccups. Well, Quins are beginning to dominate here that little bit. 7 penalties conceded by Sale in the first 15 minutes. I mean, you got to say rustiness, but also I think we've got to be realistic. Like, you know, I do think that the conditions don't help this one. Baldwin with the throw in here, just inside the half of Harlequins. Now, Sale have this fantastic rush defence, which they are trying to use here. But fair play to Harlequins, the likes of Marcus Smith, finding little pockets, finding little gaps, and exercising that very, very well. Smith chips one over the top, but it's pretty much into the middle of nowhere, really. Straight to a Sale man who will clear this one. And they're happy to give the possession to Quins. 16 minutes in, though, folks. Still 3-0 to the Quins down at Twickenham Stoop. I do expect this game, though, to, as time goes on, to open up. I do expect teams to become more comfortable, to throw the ball a bit more about. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel today. It means a heck of a lot. Thank you very, very, very much, Contalk. And share the video if you're here for the first time. Let me know your thoughts. Sale are under pressure here in their own 22, about 10 metres out. They're defending for their lives here. And I mean, Sale have come out really rusty, lots of mistakes, 7 penalties conceded already in this game. I mean, that doesn't put you in a good place for the ref, does it? But the ball from the line out is thrown at the top. It was on the floor. Marcus Smith put a little grubber through. Marshall tried to get onto the end of it. It was bouncing all over the place. Yard finally collected it, but this has not been a fantastic performance from Sale to start with. And you got to think Harlequins really need to take advantage of this, because if we're being honest, Sale probably have the better players and are the better side. So they need to get an early start, a good start, get points on the board, and make Sale chase again, which will open up the gaps for the likes of Marcus Smith. But they're putting their foot on the throttle here. Don Brandt coming in there for Harlequins. And it's an advantage here as the players obstructing the scrum half. Baldwin popping through there. And they will come back for the advantage. And this could be another easy 3 points. Or they could go to the line. Now, Luke Pierce could be getting a little bit annoyed here. There might be a little word with the ref. They're going for the posts, so we'll make it 6-0. So a penalty here to the Quins. Sale starting sloppy, man. Starting very sloppy, but I think it's understandable, but it is sloppy. Marcus Smith. You're probably looking at about 30 metres out here, but it's pretty much straight in front of the post. It's not much wind. It's stopped raining now. Let's see if you can get it. It's easy. He's got it. 6-0 to the Quins here. (6-0 to the Quins now. First water break of the game now. Get your questions in. Now is the time to get your questions in, folk. How long's gone, Louis? We have 19 minutes on the clock. It is now a water break. It's a new thing that they've brought in, pal. Currently 6-0 to Quins. Summary of the game so far, it's been sloppy, but it's been great to have rugby back, really. But yeah, 19 minutes gone, 6-0 to Quins, 2 penalties from Marcus Smith. And Sale have just been sloppy and have been very ill-disciplined. But I think as the game goes on, that will loosen. I think players will become more and more relaxed, and we'll see a better performance from both teams. Thank you to everyone who has joined the stream. Really grateful for you being here today. Hope you're doing really, really well today, and yeah, enjoying this one. Jack Hoppers, how do you feel that the Six Nations will be finished this year? I mean, they've announced them, haven't they? There's one final set of fixtures. Of course, Wales is an interesting one. No, of course, any venue being announced for it, because the Millennium Stadium or the Principality Stadium has been used as a place for COVID testing and things like that. So that's going to be interesting. There's a few options to the Liberty, where the Ospreys play at Parker Scowleds, or at Rodney Parade, which has been touted a lot. Who do I think will win? France can still win it, and England can still win it. I think it's going to be one of them. But again, it's that one game, isn't it? Our team's going to be fit and going to be fighting for that. It's a tough one to say. Louis C, what's the centre partnership looking like for Sale at the minute? Manu hasn't had the ball. He's not had the ball at all. He's done 1 or 2 nice little tackles here and there, but Sale haven't had the ball. I'll try and find what the possession stats are, but they just haven't had the ball. Game is kicked back off here. Line out to Sale Sharks. And what I thought about that water break, actually, that water break was so much cleaner than in football. In football, we see that it takes like 5-10 minutes sometimes, but that was literally 30 seconds. Water, boom, back to play. Sale here finally with the ball, pushing just over the halfway line. What Sale do well when they have quick ball, they can do things, and that's what they need to get here. Finally, Manu has the ball, but his tackle straight away. 2 guys on him straight away, but that's the first time we've seen him. And Sale have the advantage here. What are they going to try and do? Let's have a look here. Faf. Ball out. And he's kept the ball somehow with the flanker there. spilling it all over the place, but he has kept it, and they will come back for the original penalty. And if I was Sale here, I'd just take the points. They need to get some points on the board because the next set of points is quite important in this game. If Harlequins went and got a try, you'd be worried for Sale. So very important that Sale gets something on the board here. "20 minutes gone though, folks." Let me know, folks, have you been watching any Super Rugby? I haven't been able to due to work and the timings of it, of course, here in the UK. But let me know. And I mean, of course, New Zealand is very different to us in terms of COVID and how many cases they've had. But I'd be very interested to know your thoughts on when you think fans will be able to come back into the stadium. Let me know. Sale here with an opportunity. Dupree's going to take his kick. 69% success rate in his kicks. Interesting that. Let's take a look at this kick as Dupree's is about to take it. Got an interesting stance, that's for sure. Let's have a look what he does, though. Not the easiest kick, but let's have a look. He's missed it. He's missed it by quite a bit. Kicked it very far wide. Pretty poor kick. Not the greatest kick, that's for sure. But it remains 6-0 to Harlequins. 22 minutes gone. Jack Hopper coming back in with an interesting comment. England have Italy for the last game of the Six Nations and France have Ireland. So I think England will win as they are at the top of the table at the minute. England are certainly favourites. France, though, they showed what they could do. But again, it's so difficult to know because who knows how players will react coming back. Like today, I backed Sale to win by 15. They've been awful so far, pretty much. One or two little glimpses they've shown. But apart from that, they've been pretty bad. So, I mean, I'm not too sure, man. Mike Brown here to kick. And Harlequins, if I was a Harlequins fan, I'd be very happy with how things have gone so far. I'd be very happy. You've kept the ball pretty well. Your defence has been very solid. You're taking your points. You made the right decisions. And Sale have had one break, and that's it. So I'd be very happy. But what Sale need is quick ball. Once Sale gets quick ball, you know they can do something in this game. Louis, AJ McGinty, or Dupree's is a tough one. It depends what type of game you want to play. I think that's the big thing. McGinty, of course, is an international, plays for the USA, probably is the headline of that USA national team. I mean, I just about back McGinty maybe on this one, just about. Let me know your thoughts, Louis, on that one. Quins here with a line out to defend in their own 22. They take a short. Again, no real rhythm into this game yet, but we're slowly getting there, I think. Cleared away, and it'll be a line out to Sale Sharks. Still 6-0 here, 25 minutes gone. Line out to Sale. Sale just need a bit of the ball as well. I don't feel like they've had much of the ball. That is something that I think they'll be very aware of. Fafia picking up the ball, and he's done a little break there, and oh, the pass was just short. And it's been spilled everywhere. I just think it's such humid and it's a horrible, it's stuffy, it's humid, and I just think the ball is slipping all around the place. Oh dear. It's so good to have rugby back, though. It is so good to have rugby back. First real opportunity for Sale Sharks now, really, from an attacking scrum, just outside the 22, directly in front of the posts. They've got options. They've got the likes of Manu, who can crash over. They've got the likes of their wingers, who they can come back on. Faf can do something from the base. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do here, but they need to do something. Ball out to Faf. It's a lovely little switch over. And the Quins defence is up very, very quickly. And once again, Sale Sharks penalised. And Harlequins take this one quick. And the scrum out for Ladage takes it quick. And Ashton was caught out there. And it'll be a line out. But Sale Sharks, silly little mistakes, but very good defence. You've got to back the defence of Quins. You've got to do it. You just got to back their defence. As an interesting comment, Louis, I think McGinty is very consistent and reliable, but Dupreece isn't as reliable, but maybe the better player. I think it depends what you want as a player. Of course, do you want a player who is going to have an X factor moment, maybe once every 2-3 games, or do you want someone who's going to be consistent but not do anything ridiculous? That's how I see the Wales situation with Bigger and Anscombe. You know, Anscombe maybe isn't as reliable as Bigger because you know exactly what you're going to get with Bigger, but maybe Anscombe will be that one guy who will have that X factor moment for you. So it's an interesting one, that's for sure. Keep your comments coming in, keep your questions coming in, get conversation going in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, on this game so far. Bit of a dead squid, I'm not going to lie. It's not the most entertaining game, but we are slowly getting there. That is for sure. Harlequins once again have stolen this ball just outside the 22 of Sale Sharks, but the ball is just slipping about everywhere. Nobody can really keep hold of it. But this is an opportunity for Sale Merchant. Out to Mike Brown. Mike Brown tackled here. Lang tackled by Tuolangi. And Sale have got the penalty again. There's just no consistency in this game. There's no rhythm. We haven't seen anything particularly exciting happen in this game so far. "28 minutes gone. Still 6-0. Of course, more fixtures coming over the weekend. Tomorrow we've got Exeter against Leicester. That's a massive game. There won't be a stream of that, but I'll try and get one on Sunday for you if I can. And of course, then Bristol against Sarries. That's a really exciting game. I mean, Semi Udrada moving to Sarries, not to Sarries, to Bristol. That's an exciting game. And then on Sunday, then, of course, Northampton are taking on Wasps. Who do I support, Louis? Out of these two teams, I don't particularly support them. I am a Welshman. I support the Ospreys, which is shit at times because we are dog at the minute. But hopefully things are going to get better. But if I had to support a team out of these two teams, I would support Sale. I just think the style of rugby, I really enjoy watching it. And the players that they've got is always interesting to see. And I think a lot of people are watching today because of Manu. So that is something we have to keep in mind. Interesting question for you guys in the comments to get your teeth into. If you were to pick the Lions 15 now, who would be your number 10? Who would you pick right now as your number 10? Jack Cooper, you as a supporter of the Ospreys, mate, it's tough. It's tough. Tuolangi or Vadrada? Both. I think Vadrada's the X factor. Tuolangi is Mr. Solid in many ways. Well, not with injuries, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, get in the comments now. Get in the comments now on what you think. Who should be the starting 10 for the Lions if it was happening right now? Jack Hopper with Farrell. Interesting, okay. Let's see some more. Louis C with Big O. Russell. Russell's an interesting shout, you know. Russell's a really interesting shout. I mean, Russell for me is such a, what's the word I'm looking for? He's such a luxury player. He really is. Is he the guy you want to start against South Africa from the start, off the bench, 60 minutes in, when they are shattered like props? He's the guy you want. But is he from the start? Penalty here for Harlequins once again. 39 metres out for Marcus Smith. He's got 2 out of 2 so far. Let's see if he can get it. And he's got it again. It's 9-0 to Harlequins, 31 minutes gone. I mean, man, this is an interesting one, isn't it? This is very interesting, this one. Let's get back into your comments on that one about the Lions. Manu Vonipola at fly half. That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Foul at 12 from Louis C. Mate, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, of course, then you got to think about who do you put at 10, because I think Fowl is so good. I think he's got to be in there, in my opinion. But who do you put at 10 then? Do you say that, as you said, Bigger at 10? Are Bigger and Fowl two similar players? Are they not creative enough? Because I think you need that element of creativity. And here come Harlequins, speaking of creativity, breaking through. Mike Brown could be in here. Can Tuolangi stop him? He has been stopped by Hill here. Quick ball though, Ladajo. There's an overlap here. This should be a try, but the forward goes forward. He doesn't pass it out wide. This is the best opportunity that Harlequins have had all game. The Sale defence is pretty much back set now. They need quick ball here, and they need that one opportunity. Forwards decide to pick and go here, trying to drag the defenders in. And the ref calls a stop to play for a second. Marcus Smith with a lovely cross kicker there to create the opening. And then the kick through, and Martians picked it up. But Harlequins may be a chance missed there. But back to the chat about the Lions, of course. Who'd you put at 10? Does Beggar and Farrell work together? I mean, nobody's mentioned Sexton yet. I mean, is he past it? That's an interesting question we can certainly get into. $33 in here, 9-0 to the Quins. Scrum here to Quins. I will get to the rest of your comments regarding the Lions and Louis, your question. I'll get to that in just a second. We're just going to focus on this moment because this is quite a big moment in the game. Scrum here. Cell Sharks do have the import, but it's literally 2 minutes away. 2 minutes, 2 meters away from their own try line. Here we go. Sharks need a big scrum here, and Harlequins come with the early shove, and it's a big shove. And who gets it? It is Sharks who gets the penalty. So a bit off the leash there. Looking again at this one. Right, let's get back to your questions anyway. Itoje in the team, absolutely brilliant player, Itoje. I mean, you've got to have him in the team. Like, you just got to have him in the team. What's Hill like as a player? Good player. And again, Harlequins breaking through it. There's a lovely little pop pass there. Here comes Harlequins again, trying to go for the kick. Probably not the correct decision there, but I mean, Earl there with a little kick through didn't quite come off. But again, Sale have been so sloppy. So sloppy. And really, Quins will be feeling like, why have they not taken more advantage of this? Who do you think is better, Alan Wynne, Twat, or Malo Itoje? I think Itoje probably is the better technical player, but I think for what Alan Wynne does for the team as a captain, I think he's just a little bit better in that regard. But I'd play both of them together in the Lions. That's just what I would do personally. Marler here picking up the ball. He's been quiet this game. We haven't heard much from Marler. But again, Quins having some lovely passing and really pulling the Sale defence across. And they've dropped it again. And it will be scrum for the Quins here. Okay, so we're done number 10. Who's going to be your scrum half for the Lions? Let me know in the comments, in the chats, and I'll get my thoughts on them. So who's going to be the starting scrum half? Let me know. Who would you pick? Still 9-0. 37 minutes gone. Nearly half time. You're 3 minutes away from half time. Over half time, we will take a quick 2-minute break just for me to grab some food, some drink, and then I'll be back very, very quickly. Who do I think would be the Lions starting pack? We'll get into that at half time. We'll go over my team at half time, that's for sure. Louis C for scrum half. Said Davis, but then changed his mind with Connor Murray. That's interesting. Jack Hopper then coming in with Ben Youngs. Okay, I'll get into my team at half time. Final probably play really here of the half. If I was Quins, though, I would be feeling a little bit like we haven't really taken our best opportunities, really. We should be further ahead. I mean, the fact that Sale have played this bad, then you got to be thinking like, okay, why are they even in this game, really, if we're being totally honest? But they still are in the game, and they'll look to get just to half time, I think so. Joe Marler getting a telling to from the referee. Saying little comments, I'm sure, as always. Joe Marler making comments? Never. There we go. Still 9-0 here. A minute and 15 to go in this first half. That's a big hit coming in there on the halfway line on the Quins man and Robshaw here. Can Quins get a score before the end of this half to really try and hopefully cement their place in this one? And the handbags are out, ladies and gentlemen. The handbags are finally out. It's what we've been waiting for. Let's have a look at what you've been saying in the comments. 6'2" for a scrum half, but if you want someone to match De Klerk Davis, again, it's what, of course, it's Gatland who's the coach. I think that partnership at 9-10 is going to be so important. And there's a couple of names there, of course, but there are also some names that I don't really think should be considered. I think Conor Murray just has not been in form over the past few years, and I don't think it's fair to consider him. Here we go, though. Big opportunity here for Sale Sharks to get something before the end of the first half. Van der Merwe to put the line out in just over about 7 metres out. They've won the ball. Here comes the driving maul, as expected. Quins have defended so well so far. So we are expecting good defence here from them. But the driving maul is going forward. Now, if Sale can get something from this half here, it'd be incredible. Ripped. De Klerk's going through, and he's only about a metre away from the try line. Stop, though. The ball is there, though. They probably need to go wide, but I think the forwards are going to take control of this one. They're so close here, man. This could be big. If Quins can hold out here, this could be big in terms of the game. Robshaw almost getting his hands on the ball to turn it over there. They're going for the line. He hasn't quite reached, but they just need to go wide here, you feel. They went wide. They'd get there. Stopped just short here. This surely has to go wide. Tuolangi. Can he get there? I think he might have got there. Has Tuolangi scored on his Sale Sharks debut? We're about to find out. I think this is going to go to the TMO. I don't quite think he's touched this one down. I think he's actually dropped it. He has dropped the ball here. He has dropped it. It will not be a try for Manu Tuolangi on debut so far. So no try on debut so far for him. Jack, we will get to your team. I'll put it up there. I will get to it in more detail. I'll just go for a 2-minute break in a second. But it is a penalty here to Sale Sharks. And they will at least get something on the board before the end of the half. Here we go. This is an easy kick. He's got to get this, man. He's missed it. He's missed it. He's actually missed it. I can't believe it. He's actually missed that kick. It's shocking. It's shocking. How has he missed that? I mean, he's literally pretty much in front of the post, probably about 15 metres out. I could get it. and he's missed it. It pretty much sums up the first half for them. 9-0 to Quins at half time. Right, we're going to take a 2-minute break here on the channel. I'm going to keep the stream going there. I'll just put a cover over it. But you remain here, guys. I'll literally be 2 minutes going to drink a bit of food. We'll get to your comments over half time, and then we'll be ready for the second half. And I'll get into all your questions about of course, about your Lions teams, about, of course, Louis there popping with Get McGinty on, mate. I'm agreeing with you. I'll get to them in just a second. I'm going to remove myself from the stream, but I'll be back very shortly. 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you soon. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. Just had to get some food, get some drink. Thank you very much for remaining here on the stream. Let's get into some of your comments in just a second. Let's have a look at the stats of the game. First of all, possession 55% to Harlequins, carries 40 to 34, 195 meters made, 221, and then penalties conceded 12 from Sharks. So, man, it's been a soppy one, that's for sure, from them. But thank you so much for staying with us. Let's get into your comments in just a sec. I just finished doing a few technical things. Right, let's get into your comments now, folks. Okay, Jack Huber, I'm going to analyse your team and your decisions on your teams. Let's have a look who you've put into your side. So your team, let's start with the front row. Mako, Jamie George, Kyle Sinclair. Alan Wynn at 4, captain, I hope. Maro Toje then at 5, Curry and Underhill, and then Vunipola. Young's at 9, Sexton at 10, Singer then playing on the wing with Fowler in the centre alongside Manu, Johnny May, and Elliott. Are you an England fan by any chance? But no, let's have a look. Okay, starting with the fullback, I disagree. I think there's a couple of players that you have to look at first of all. I think it's either Hogg or you look at Halfpenny or even Liam Williams. I don't think Elliott gets a mention in this. I think you take him because he's such a versatile player, but I don't think he plays, in my opinion. Johnny May on the wing, one of the best finishers from distance there is in the world. You know, if he's got the ball just outside your 22 and he's got space, you're fucked, basically. So, yeah, Manu at 13, absolutely agree with that. Would not put Fowler at 12. I'd probably move Manu to 12 and put Jonathan Davis in there instead. Singer would not have him in the team, probably wouldn't even take him. I'd have Josh Adams there, the best finisher from close range, in my opinion, in the world at the minute. At 10, 10's a tough one. I'll come back to that in a second. Ben Youngs would not be at 9 for me. It'd either be... Oh, Ben Youngs isn't a bad shout. Ben Youngs or Gareth Davis from me. Billy Vunipola at 8, 100%. If he's fit, he needs to be fit. Underhill and Curry, 6 and 7. I do like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Mauro then at 5. Absolutely agree with that. Alan Wynn then at 4 as captain of the tour, in my opinion. Sinclair, Jamie George, and Mako's an interesting one. We'll have to have a look at that properly in a little bit. CJ Stander get in? Definitely in the team somewhere, maybe on the bench. Why not Singer? Because when he played in the World Cup, he was amazing. I just think there's better options out there, personally. I just think there's better options out there. And I think against the Springboks, I think you need different options than what Singer would offer. But good player, but I think there was just better options out there. CJ loses temper too quick. I don't know about that. I think he's a quality player, to be honest. We're still waiting here, half time. You do need aggression against the Springboks. The Springboks will be a very physical game. So, yeah. They will be a very, very physical game, but it'll be interesting to see. So thoughts on this game, guys, so far? What are you thinking? So far, Sale have been sloppy, man. That's just how it's been. Sale have been sloppy. Just a reminder for you of the teams. We'll go through them here with you so you know. So Harlequins starting with the front row: Joe Marler, Scott Baldwin, Simon Kirrod, then Stephen Lewis, Matt Simmons, James Chisholm, Chris Robson, Alex Don Brandt complete the forwards. Then they're going on to the back, starting with the fullback: Mike Brown, Chris Ashton, Joe Marchant, James Lang, Nathan Earl, and Marcus Smith, and at scrum off Martin Ladajo. Marcus Smith has been pretty impressive so far, we've got to say. Then looking at the Sale Sharks team, starting with the front row, we've got Cooney Ustosen, Aka van der Merwe, Will Griff John. You've then got Jean-Luc Dupries, Ludovic de Jager, John Ross, Tom Curry, and Daniel Dupries. Then looking at the backs, of course, you've got Simon Hammersley, Byron McGuican, Manitou Lange, of course, who's hardly had the ball so far, Sam Hill, Marlon Yard on the wing, Rob Dupries at 10, who's had an absolute shocker so far. He's just been terrible. And Faf de Klerk then at scrum half. So it's interesting so far. I mean, if you are a Sharks fan, I mean, it's not going well, is it? But Quins will be happy. But the mad thing about Sale so far, they're still in it. They're still in it because the game is 9-0 down, half time. And yet, you know, the reality is Quins have been close to score, but Sale nearly scored at the end there. So it's a close game. It's close so far. Jack Copper with a really good question. What do you think about Ellis Genge? Big fan of Ellis Genge. Think he's a good player, but also think he is what we need in rugby. And I think it's a catch-22 in many ways because, you know, people turn around and say, oh, you know, he is too controversial. But then people then turn around and say, actually, we want people talking and being open and being honest about, you know, about what they're thinking and things like that. So we want that. We definitely want that. Did Ross start? Yes, he did. John and Ross did start for Sale in the number 6 shirt. He did start. He had one nice break at the start, but again, it's just been a bit of a quiet one for him today. But there we go. Well, the players are coming back out here now at the Stoop in Twickenham. Sorry, I do have my mouth full of food. All right, guys, predictions for the second half in the comments, please. Let me know. Who are you backing? This is the first Premiership game back since the 8th of March. It's been a long time coming, but finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. $13-12 to Sale. Is that your predictions for this one? I hope it's a bit entertaining, more entertaining than that. That's for sure. Who's my captain for the Lions? Who's captain for Sale? Sorry. Let me have a look. It is good question. Let me find this for you. Ross is captain. He's captain for Sale. Ross is captain for Sale in this one. 23-30 to Sale in the end. Jack Hooper's got them. Jack Hopper also asking, what do you think when Mike Brown and Ben Teal were booted out of the England squads? Eddie Jones is an interesting one, isn't he? He is a very interesting character who quite often divides opinion. And yeah, he's one of them who make big claims and say stuff. But I mean, Mike Brown, I think they're just, well, you look at England's fullbacks at the minute, they are struggling a little bit. Of course, George Furbank played, but struggled a little bit. Ben Teo, England have a wealth of options in the centre. Henry Slade, Manu, and there's so many more. You know, there are just options. So I don't think Ben Teo's particularly missed. And he's a little bit older now as well. And I'm pretty sure he's playing out in France now. I think he is. Let me just double check this. And he's playing in Japan even. No, he's actually gone back to rugby league. He plays for the Brisbane Broncos. So yeah, he's back playing rugby league. So I think, you know, I wouldn't feel bad for him particularly. Louis C does feel bad for him, but I mean, he's gone back to rugby league, and you know, we've seen players trying to cross over Sam Burgess, people like that, but it doesn't often really that much work, if we're being totally honest. Yeah, I was pretty sure he did go to Japan for a while. I think he did, didn't he? He did go there for a while. If you're into football, he's pretty mad at the minute in the Champions League. Bayern Munich, half time, are 4-1 up against Barcelona. Are 4-1 up against Barcelona. So far, Muller has had 2 goals in the 4th minute and the 31st, Perisic in the 21st, and Gnabry in the 27th. And Alaba got an own goal for Barcelona. It's pretty mad at the minute. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it, really? Bayern Munich seems to be the team to win in that one, but we're not about football here. We are, of course, all about the rugby. Still 9-0 here at the Stoop. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. I'd be interested. What do you think about Israel Folau? Oh, okay. Okay. That is Israel Folau. When you're entitled to your opinions, but when those opinions are blatantly hateful, then you're being a dickhead, basically, in my book. And you know, people choose to live their life the way they want to, but choose to feel the way they want to. Of course, you can put your opinion out, but there's a way of putting your opinion out in a loving way and in a respectful way. And he just didn't do that. And again, with the whole Black Lives Matter, he wouldn't kneel for it and things like that. And then he went and tried to sue people for money, which then just shows it's all about money. It's not really about what he actually believes. And that is unfair on people who genuinely believe that, and maybe genuinely believe that in a loving way. It's a tough one. But as a player, at one point, he was the best fullback in the world and one of the most entertaining players in the world. Louis then says, for me, Slade did not perform at the World Cup. I don't think he played that much, did he? Injuries and stuff. But I just think, once again, such a versatile player, really good player. I like Slade. Very much so. I do like him a lot. But it's going to be interesting to see, of course, what Gatland picks, what Gatland wants to do. Again, it's all about how Gatland wants to play. We know Gatland is very physical. We know against the box that will need to be necessary. But again, we have to think about who's going to take his backroom staff, who is going to be the senior members of the squad, who is going to be involved in it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that, that's for sure. Still 9-0 here at the Stoop. But it's so good to have rugby back, isn't it? Interested to know as well from you guys, who would you like to be captain of the Lions? Would you be happy with Alan Wynne, or would you like a different option? I'd be interested to know. So get in the comments down below and let me know who would you want to be captain? I do agree with you, Jack, on this one. This is a really good point, mate. Personally, I don't think players should be made to kneel for Black Lives Matter. If they want to, up to them. I understand that, but you should want to, just naturally. If you're a good human, if you like other people, and if you accept that everyone is the same, pretty much the same, everyone deserves to be treated with the same amount of respect. It's sad that we have to do it, that players feel they need to do it to get the message out there, but that's it. Maro Itoje for captain, no way. I'm sorry, no way. He's not done it enough. He's not experienced enough. If he hasn't captained his country consistently, or his club side, which he hasn't, he's not captain in the Lions. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. That's ridiculous. Jack Noel getting into starting 15 for England. Jack Noel's a good player. He's a really hard worker. He puts in a shift defensively as well. For England, yes. For the Lions, no, in my opinion. But there's still a year to go, and players can definitely change my mind. I'm absolutely open to change my mind. At the end of the day, I don't care. Well, I do, but I would rather it be a class side, maybe 10 Englishmen, 3 Irish, 1 Welsh, 1 Scottish, whatever. I don't care. But we win the test and being like some Welsh, I want 10 Welshmen in there and we lose it. So I want us to put the best team. Louis says Alan win because it's last tour, but Fowler's amazing leadership ability. He does and he doesn't. I spoke about this a bit earlier in the stream. There's one game in particular against us, against Wales, and what England were smashing us. We were playing pants. We were really, really bad. And they absolutely bottled it. And he just did not have any kind of, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, any kind of ability to really impact the game in any way. And that was really frustrating for an England fan, I'm sure. He wasn't getting the team around him like, look, this is falling apart. We need to get back. We go back to basics. We do the simple things. He wasn't making the right decision, wasn't thinking clearly. And it's not just his responsibility, but as captain, he is responsible for that as well. Jack Hopper, I don't think Alan should be captain. I think he should be someone else. Well, give me some options, mate. Give me some options on who you think and make them decent options, because Maro is just not an option as captain. I think he's got captain material potential, but to captain the Lions just like that, nah, not happening. Not happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while I've been chatting to you, we've had a try. It's a try for Sale Sharks. It is Byron McGuican who's got the try. Sale have got it, and they've started exactly the way they wanted to start the second half. It's a move across the line from the visitors, from the top of the line out, from left to right, and eventually shifted out to Byron McGuican on the right wing to charge it from 12 metres. And Rob Dupreez has finally kicked the points over. He's finally done it, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, he's actually kicked the ball over. And it's a try for the Harlequins. It's 9 points to 7. Sorry, try for Sale. It's 9 points to 7. I said this, didn't I? I said if Sale take their chances, and if Harlequins don't, then there could be problems here. There could be problems here. So far, folks, it is now, get in for Louis. Absolutely for you, mate. You'll be buzzing with that one. Absolutely. 9 points to 7. Let's change this at the bottom. 9 points to 7. Big score there. And I said, if Quins don't get a point quickly, then there could be issues. I'd love to see Maro, but Watchalong is very strong contender, in my opinion. Again, not captain material. I mean, yeah, he's just not captain material. I would want to see you captain your team, captain your national side before you think about captaining the Lions. Because it's not just about being a captain on the field. It's off the field. It's everything to do with it. Alan Wynn's been captain of Wales for 2 years now, maybe more. Ospreys for a long, long time now. He's been captain of the Lions. He understands what it takes. I'm not a fan of that one, but if you've got any more suggestions, definitely let me know. But yeah, it could be. But Maro, as I've said, Maro Itoje has absolute the quality. He absolutely has the quality. Let's have a look what you're saying. CJ Stander for captain. I'm not sure about that. Jackbait, you're throwing out some names here. Ben Young has a lot of experience as a player, as I would like to see how he would do as a captain. I hope you're not saying for the Lions because, again, no. I think the Lions is the top, it's the pinnacle, basically. And you've got to be experienced and you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have the respect of other people. Alan Winch has that respect. And I struggle to think of who else it will be. I really struggle to think of who else it will be. And I think Gallon will go with tried and tested as well. So I think that's what will happen in that field. We've been going for an hour and a half here on this stream. That is mad. But hopefully the game will pick up a little bit. Again, if you're new here, do subscribe. It's much appreciated. We've gained a nice few subscribers this evening, which is fantastic. But like the stream, share it, etc. That'd be awesome to see. Thank you for joining us so far. It's fantastic to have you here. It is getting dark out here in the UK now. I'm shattered. I've had a long week. I'm down here. But going on holiday tomorrow. Can't wait to get away for a bit. Still 9 points to 7 here. 50 minutes into the game. Let's eat my jacket potato. Actually, that try for Sale was the first try back, of course, since lockdown. First try back in over 5 months in the Gallagher Premiership. So big first try back for that one. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, lots of interesting videos I got here on the channel. Of course, we've got a transfer weekly, which will be coming very shortly, where we look at the biggest transfer deals I've done or that will be coming soon. So that, of course, you can check that out. You can view that and have a watch of that. We've also got lots of interviews that we're doing with players as well. Doing a few of them MLR players. Got one coming next week for you as well with a big Canadian international star. There's a lot going on the channel at the minute, and we're trying to smash it out at the minute. Still 9 points to 7 here, 52 minutes gone. And that's the first time we've really seen Manu with the ball, to be honest. Manu Tulangi got a chance there to stretch his legs with the ball in hand. But Quins were there to cover, and it just seems like Quins are putting 2 guys on him every time, just because they know the damage that he can really do. Let's get an interesting question go for you guys. Let's talk about the best stadiums in the world, because I've been to a few stadiums in my time. I've been lucky to travel around, see a few stadiums. Let me know in the comments your favourite stadium that you've ever been on. Lucy, where are you going on holiday? Mate, sad story, right? I was meant to be going quite far away on holiday, but yeah, not happening because of COVID. Going just over to Anglesey here in North Wales for a week. Really nice to relax, right on the beach. It's beautiful. Hopefully we'll have some good weather. That'll be perfect. Jacobo, what do you think about the offer? You trying to stop people singing swing low? Yeah, I'm not going to comment too much on that, but yeah, let's just yeah, people are a bit thingy about that, aren't they? But yeah, let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on the best stadiums in the world. What's the favourite ones that you've been to? It could even be your local side that you've been to see. Let me know in the chat what your best ones are. Quins are using their rolling maul pretty well, in fact. They are doing pretty well here. Anfield. I was talking about rugby, but football is cool. I've never been to Anfield. It's not far from me. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I can imagine the atmosphere is good when they're singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," especially on a Champions League night, Louis. I can absolutely appreciate that, man. Liverpool, brilliant footballing team, aren't they? They really are. But yeah, but rugby ones, if you can let me know, that'd be awesome. The Twick or Sandy Park for Exeter, interesting. I've never been to either of them. I've heard reports though about Twickenham being like you feel like you're very far away from the pitch, and sometimes where you sit, you can have really, really bad seats. Sandy Park then looks quite what's the word I'm looking for? Looks quite intimate in a way. You're quite close to the pitch. That's the vibe that I get from there. Again, it's a very long way from me, but yeah, Twickenham is massive, isn't it? You know, my favourite one, Principality. I mean, Millennium is just built for rugby. It generally is built for rugby, and it's just perfect for it, in my opinion. You can close the roof. The sound that it generates is just incredible. But you know, it'd be interesting for the size of the AJ Bell Stadium. The atmosphere is good, and you're close to the pitch. Absolutely, been there a couple of times myself. Love that stadium, and the atmosphere is always good there, isn't it? And it's always good when there's a derby on as well. That always helps. But another ones of the ones that I've been to, Parc y Scarlets down in Llanelli. That's a good stadium. Although when it rains, it really pours in there. Tormund Park out in Munster, one of my favourite stadiums ever. Brilliant place to go to watch rugby. And when someone's kicking, pin drop, especially if it's a Munster player. It's an absolute pin drop. So AJ Bell, Tormund Park, absolutely, I love them. One stadium I really want to go to though, Stade de France. I really want to head over to the Stade de France. That's for sure. 54 minutes on the clock here then. Still 9 points to 7 to the Quins. I mean, it's not been a special game, but we have a change, ladies and gentlemen. It is a try for Harlequins. Scott Baldwin has crashed over. The former Ospreys man has crashed over. 14 points to 7. Man, what is going on in this game? It's dead for like 5 seconds, like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get a try, and it's happening, and things are happening, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is mad. That is mad. We have a try. I will get to your question, Louis, in just a second. But a try for Harlequins. Scott Baldwin has crashed over for the Harlequins. The hooker has crashed over. And, I mean, Sale Sharks, what is going on, man? What is going on? Crazy. Louis Ascot, you're going to watch the Lions? Mate, give me 10K and I'll be off. I'd love to. I am going to university in September and I'm working on the side, so very unlikely, but I'll definitely be watching, and of course on the channel. We'll be covering it in the lead up. We've made a few things already on the channel here, but we'll be covering it more and more in the lead up, and it'll be really interesting to see. I'd love to go. I would absolutely love to go. I'd love to go. It'd be insane to go watch the Lions. But I think for me as well, being a bit younger, the allure of the Lions maybe isn't as much as for maybe older people, because they've seen it over the years, how much it means every 4 years. And it's always been on Sky Sports. And as a child, I didn't really watch Sky Sports and things like that. So I didn't understand the meaning of it as such. But I think definitely next year I will be 100% watching it. And, you know, the time zones will be okay, because South Africa's, I think, is an hour ahead of us. So it's kickoff at 3 o'clock. It's only a 4 o'clock kickoff here in the UK. So for me, it's perfect, really. And hopefully by then I'd have finished uni for my first year. That's been converted. That kick has been converted. Marcus Smith, 16 points to 7 now. This game is moving mad. This game is moving mad right now. This could be a very, very interesting finish. Have I played rugby? I did play rugby up until about the age of 15. Everyone else started to grow. I did not. I played wing and scrum half, preferred scrum half. You get to chat shit all game and you're more involved in the action. And being a 14-year-old and it's cold and it's wet and you're on the wing and the props just keeping the ball, it ain't fun. So I played a lot of scrum half. Really, really enjoyed it. Would love to get back into it at some point, but with just life gets in the way. But I love watching it, and I've watched rugby all my life and always loved the game. So, yeah, I have played. Louis, have you played, mate? Have you played for any teams? Let me know. Jack as well, let me know. Have you played for any sides over the years? Let me know. So 16 points to 7 in this one. Still remains 4-1 for Bayern Munich against Barcelona. Sale Academy at my local club. Hey, you must play to a decent level. What position did you play? And school as well. Do you still play? Let me know, Louis. If you haven't already, guys, smash the like button on the stream. It makes a big difference to it. And also subscribe as well. And hit the notifications bell so you know when I'll have uploaded. You'll definitely know then. Of course, the game's coming up over the next 2 days. We've got a few games coming up. First of all, tomorrow afternoon, I'm very excited for this one. Kick off at 2 o'clock at Sandy Park. It's Exeter Chiefs against Leicester Tigers. Scotland lock Johnny Gray's going to make his debut for Exeter. He's going to start as they host Leicester. And Sam Hidalgo Klein is named on the bench alongside prop Thomas Francis, who's not played for Wales. So he's not played since playing for Wales in the World Cup against South Africa 9 months ago. Steve Borthwick takes control as Tigers head coach for the first time. Let's go through the two teams for tomorrow then. So Exeter Chiefs first of all. Hogg starts at fullback, O'Flaherty on the wing, Slade and DeVito as a centre partnership. Woodburn at 10 alongside Simmons, who's at 9. Then at 8 you got Simmons, then Kirsten, it was Hill, Gray, Williams, Cowan Dickey, Hepburn and Wonder. On the bench, then you got Yandel, Moon, Francis Skinner, Armand, Hidalgo, Klein, Steenson, and Witten. And then for the Tigers, then you have Worth, Williams, Tuate, Scott, Oliver Fowler, Ford, Ben Youngs, Genge, Tom Youngs as captain, Cole, Lavanini, Green, Wales, Reffelt, and Terafau. And on the bench, then you got Kerr, Letigaka, Hayes, Liebenberg, Wallace, Smith, White, and Henry. That game tomorrow is kicking off at 2 o'clock at Sandy Park. So that is that game. Louis, last season for sale was 15-9, but for my club I was 13. 13, I think, is a really hard position to play, man. And that's a question that Jack's asking in just a second. But I love scrum half because you're constantly involved in the game. You're involved defensively, but also attacking wise. You can dictate the play a lot. And if you have a good understanding with your fly half, then you're in good company, that's for sure. Jack Copper asks, what position do you think is the hardest to play? And yes, I did play and was a loose and proper, hated the coach. But when small teams are allowed to play again, I'll be joining another one. Absolutely, mate. Get back into the game if you can. Hardest position, I think, the 13. I think 13 or 12 is really hard because you have to attack. You have to be so good at attack and so good at defense. I think flight half can be tough, and it depends, again, on the opposition, because if the opposition are very, very good, then you are going to struggle. So, yeah, absolutely. I think the centre positions are pretty tough. You know, rugby's a complicated game, but some positions are a bit more complicated. So, yeah. So tomorrow, Exeter Chiefs against Leicester. That is the first game kicking off tomorrow, which is a pretty big game. Then we have Bath against London Irish. So Bath kick off at 3 o'clock at the Recreation Ground down in Bath. Let's have a look at the team. So Bath start like this. A fullback, Watson on the wing, Rockadaguni, with a centre partnership of Joseph and Matavesi. McConaughey then on the opposite wing with Priestland at 10 and Spencer at 9. The front row then is Boyce, Dunn and Stewart. McNorley, Eels then as the captain, Mercer, Underhill, and then Falatau plays at 8 with a bench of Walker, Bano, Judge, Stoke, Bayliss, Chudley, Redpath and de Glanville. London Irish then start like this: Parton, Loader, Rona, Hepatema, Hassel, Collins, Jackson, Phipps, Elrington, Matteo, Kepu, Donald, Knotts, Rogerson, O'Brien and Twesu. And on the bench then you have Cornish, Goodrick, Clark, Hoskins, De Chavez, Cowan, Meehan, Boffey, Clues and Williams. That's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure, that one. I'll try and keep on in touch with all the games over the time, but I mean, I'm going on holiday, so we'll have to see. The big game then tomorrow. The big game tomorrow. The big game is Bristol Bears against Saracens. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a big game. 4:30 at Ashton Gate. This is a big game. Semi Radradra, flying Fijian, will make his debut in the centre against reigning champions Saracens. Let's go through both teams. Bristol Bears' team is actually filth. They've got Pietau at fullback, Morahan on the wing, Radradra at centre with Pietau again. Purdy then playing there, Sheedy, Randall, and then in the forwards, you've got Wilmore, Byrne, Afoa, Atwood, Viu, Luatawa, Thomas, and Hughes. On the bench, they've got Thacker Lahif, Sinclair on the bench, Holmes, Earl, Ewan, Lloyd. Johan Lloyd, really exciting young Welsh player. Lerao. Savvies then have gone a bit interesting. Maitland then at fullback with Lewington, Morris, Socini, Segun, Good, Wigglesworth. Then the front row then is Vunipola, George and Koch. And then Itoje, Hunter, Rhodes, Ray and Vunipola then at number 8. But yeah, it's an interesting team, isn't it? And that's going to be a huge game, that is, for Bristol. That is massive for Bristol, that is for sure. If anyone is interested, Barcelona have pulled a goal back. 62 minutes though in this one. $16 points to 7 to Sale Sharks. Is Nandolo playing tomorrow? He's not down to play for Irish. I'll double check if he was on the bench again, but I don't think he was on there. He's not there. He's not playing tomorrow, I'm afraid. It doesn't look like he's playing Louis. Doesn't look like he's going to be there for that one. 16 points to 7 though here. I've been impressed by Marcus Smith today. He's played well, man. He's played well. Very exciting future. Number 10 for England. Let me know, what game are you most excited to see tomorrow? We'll go through the rest of the previews now. Worcester against Gloucester is the other game on the Saturday. That is kickoff at 12:30. So that is the early kickoff at 6 ways. So, of course, Worcester, Billy Seal will make his debut for Worcester Warriors. And then, of course, Worcester have the new captain, Hill, fourth youngest skip in the 24th seasons of Premiership Rugby at 21 years and 142 days. The only younger captains than Hill have been Saracens' Mario Toje, plus Sailpart Alex Sanderson and James Gaskell. So these are the teams for that one. We have got Forster, Nanai, Howe, Lawrence, Beck, Van Breda, Seal, Hugard, and then as front row you got Waller, Annett, and Schnonnert, and then you got Bressler, Kitchener, Hill, Lewis, and Kovacic. On the bench then that leaves Cutting, Holsey, Palfram, Van Veels, Dupree, Simpson, Weir, and Venter. Then for Gloucester, fullback, you got Woodward, then you got Thorley, Harris, 12 Trees, May, Cipriani. What to play Cipriani? Let me know your thoughts on Cipriani. Are you a fan of him? Should he be playing for England? Let me know. And Simpson. In the front row, you got Rapovar, Ruskin, Singleton, Balmain, Slater, Clark, Ackerman, Ludlow as captain, and then Polledri at 8. And on the bench, that leaves Walker, Mullipola, Stanley, Garvey, Clement, Varney, Seabrook, and Louis Rees-Zammit. Let's get into your comments then. Is Nandola playing for Leicester? Sorry, I read it's wrong. Let me double check for you, mate. I can't remember seeing his name for Leicester, but let's have a look. No sign of him. No sign of him. Not on the bench either, so he doesn't look set to be playing. Nadolo does not look set to be playing tomorrow. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on Cipriani. Are you a fan of Cipriani? I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. So let me know. I mean, you got to say that Quins have just been so much better in this game. That just is the reality. And this is a big move from Sale Sharks. Faf de Klerk has made way at scrum off. He is off the pitch. Will Cliff is back on. Faf is off. Faf is off the pitch. And you've got to say, really, the body language of Harlequins players show that they are energized, especially Mark Smith. I think he's been brilliant today. He's been bouncing around the place in comparison to Sale. Players have their hands and their hips, taking rests when they can. And Faf de Klerk, he's gone off now, but he's not been quite as sparky as he normally is. When you've got a key player like that everyone looks to, and if he's not playing well, it can impact the rest of the team. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a tough evening for them. Not too long to go now left in this game. Thank you so much for sticking with me on this one. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. I've not done one of these for a long time. Jack, I will get to your comment in just a second, pal. But yeah, it's really good to be back with you. It's so good to be back with you. And really enjoying having you on today on the stream with me. Let's get into your question there. Jack Hopper, what do you think of Lewis Ludlam? Really talented youngster, burst on the scene with England and was given an opportunity by Eddie Jones. And that is something we're seeing around the world now. You know, if you're young, but if you're good enough, you play. People like Wainwright, like Lewis Ludlam, have all been going off opportunities and they're playing well. And this is something for Eddie Jones to think about. Mark Smith tonight has been brilliant. And if he can continue playing like this, then this could be huge. This could be huge. So, yeah, really big fan of Lewis Ludlam. Like him a lot. Really like him a lot. Louis C. on Nadola says class player, but needs to sort it out off the pitch. Absolutely does. Wonderful player. And he got a lot of issues, but certainly a class player off the pitch. It's just been one of them games where it's been sloppy today, if we're being totally honest. It has not been free-flowing, but, you know, it's been one of them games today. It absolutely has been one of them games today. And then the final game we have to preview, of course, is Northampton against Wasps, which is happening on Sunday. That game is going to be kicking off at 3 o'clock at Franklin Gardens. What a wonderful stadium that is. I love that stadium. That's such an old-fashioned stadium. Oh, it's wonderful. If you get a chance to go, man, you got to get yourself down there. Of course, Kobo Swainacht has moved over to Montpellier, World Cup winner. He's not going to be there for Northampton, but let's go through the team for Northampton. So Furbank starts at fullback with Malander, Dingwall, playing as a Malander, sorry, and Tualu playing as the wingers with Dingwall and Francis as a centre option. Big red 10 with Matt Mitchell then at scrum half. Then looking at the forwards, you got Van Wyk, Haywood, Hill, Robbins. Try and pronounce this guy name. Ratuniurara, Laws, Ludlam, and Harrison as captain. On the bench, then you have Matavesi, Hobbs, Owomi, Franks, Coles, Tongs, Taylor, Proctor, and Nyavoro. Nyavoro is a unit. He is fucking huge. He's massive. He's absolutely huge. Yeah, he is massive, isn't he? Then, of course, looking then at the bench, then the Wasp team, sorry, Minozzi, what an exciting player he is. Kiburije, Fekatura, Gopeth, Bassett, Umaga, Robson. And then in the forwards, you've got Harris, Taylor, Brooks, Launchbury captain, Rowlands, Wills, Young, and Shields. On the bench, then you've got Ogre, West, Tumoga, Allen, Gaskell, Valoni, Velicott, Saboga, Mills. Some fantastic questions coming in, guys, here. Louis asked if you could sign anyone for sale realistically, who would you sign? I mean, I would look at one of the Savi's boys because I reckon you could pull off a cheeky loan there and get someone in. Do you need a 10? I mean, Fowle has committed there, but do you need a fullback maybe, or do you need a winger or someone like that? I mean, there are options there. Of course, Alex Good. Alex Good, is it Alex Good who plays for Savi's at fullback? He, of course, has gone off to Japan on loan for this season, which is mad, really. He's gone off, not Andy Good, sorry, Alex Good. Yes, it is Alex Good. He's gone off to Japan. He's playing for Green Rockets. He's on loan from Saracens because, quite simply, they just can't afford, well, because they're going down and everything like that. And he wants to play at the top level, probably wants to be considered for England in the future. But I'm surprised more Premiership teams haven't come in and said, look, we'll take your player on loan for the season. We'll give you this amount of money for him and we'll have him for the season. You know, opinions on England. I think England's in a really good spot at the minute. I think they're really, really strong. I thought after the World Cup they might struggle, but they didn't. And I think that the way they play and, you know, the depth that they have, they really should be one of the best teams in the world without a doubt. Nyavoro, Nadolo, it's a tough one. Come back to me on that one. Definitely come back to me on that one. Absolutely. I'd be interested to know who everyone thinks is the best finisher in the world that tries. Just the best finisher at tries. Just who is the best finisher in the world at the minute? It could be a winger, it could be a fullback, could be a scrum half, could be number 10. Most likely going to be a winger, but I'll be interested to know who'd be pipping up to be the wingers there. Anyone interested in the football? Bayern have scored 5. It's 5-2. It is 5-2. Sale almost with a chance there to get a try back, but did not take it. But they have just had a penalty. AJ McGinty is on for Rob Dupreez, who, bless him, did not have the greatest game of his life. He's come on, he's slotted the penalty for an early offside. And just after coming off the bench, he stops the penalty. It is 16 points to 10. Louis C with Colby. Oh, what a player. What a player. So good and so exciting to watch. And, you know, being Welsh, growing up, the one guy that I used to love watching was Shane Williams. And he just reminds me of Shane Williams so much in his gameplay. So, yeah, I mean, Colby absolutely has got to be up there for me. 71 minutes in, just 9 minutes left of the game. Can Sale pull this one back? It's going to be interesting to see if they can get anything out of this one. You guys have smashed it with the questions today. I appreciate it. Jonathan Joseph or Henry Slade? Oh, that's a good one. If you'd asked me this a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I'd have said 100% Henry Slade. But Jonathan Joseph has been decent before lockdown, of course, and came back into the English fold. I'm going to say Joseph. Maybe Joseph. Just about. Maybe. Oh, it's a tough one, man. England just have so much depth. They just have so much depth. I'm not an England fan, but you look at their depth and you think this is crazy. And yeah, it's just so much depth. And then you look at a country like New Zealand. I know rugby's a lot more popular, but in New Zealand, but then you look at the class that they bring. Insane. Louis with the best finishers in the world. suggesting Watson. Watson is a very underrated player, in my opinion. He just does a job. He does it well. Do you know what I mean? He's not like spectacular. He's not going to beat 10 defenders, but he's a good finisher and he'll do a job for you. Absolutely will. 71 minutes on the clock here. It's been a great stream, hasn't it? It's been good to have you with us. Still 16 points to 10. So it'll be interesting to see how this will affect the table. Of course, we'll have a look at the table once this game is over. I'll share my screen with you and we'll get our last thoughts on it. Watson or Jack Noel? Ooh, two very different players. Jack Noel's more of a workhorse, puts in a shift. Watson maybe has that little bit more flair on him. At the minute, I'm going to go with Watson. At the minute, I'd say Watson just about Watson. But in the world, the best finishers, I mean, it's hard to look past Colby. I think Josh Adams on his day could be world class. I think Johnny May, of course. You know, I think a couple of years ago, you said Jacob Stockdale as well for Ireland, but maybe not so much now. Matt Simmons is down here. He's got a little cut to his head. Of course, in full PPE, but yeah, he is down, but he'll be okay in a minute, I'm sure. Just a reminder, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It makes a massive difference to the channel as we push towards 700 subscribers. That'll be fantastic. Please do that. It's free to do. Just keeps you updated with everything that's going on, keeps you updated with rugby as it returns. And hopefully we're keeping you entertained on this Friday night. But it is hot tonight here. It is very hot. But Sale just have not been good enough today. They just have not been good enough today. Best forward in the world? I don't think you can answer that just because they're so different positions. But yeah, I don't think you can answer. If you give me a specific position, I'll answer it for you. But I think best forward is too challenging. It's like saying the best midfielder in the world in football, but what there's like an attacking midfielder, there's a centre defensive midfielder, there's a centre mid, then there's a left mid, then there's a right mid. So give me a specific position and I'll answer it for you. Absolutely. CD, standard Billy Vunipola. Billy Vunipola. I think just about. I think CJ's class, but I think Billy Vunipola. I think for the Lions as well, is going to offer that a little bit more than CJ would. But an outside shout for the Lions, I would say, is Aaron Wainwright. Keep an eye on this kid. He is special. Aaron Wainwright is very special. I really like what he's doing in the game for us. Not long to go now in this one. About 5 minutes left. There's really not long to go here. Best prop in the world. It's a tough one. I'll have a think about it and I'll get back to you. Best youngster in the world. There's quite a few coming in throughout the minute, of course. As a Welshman, I'm very excited about Johan Lloyd at Bristol. Really excited to see what he can do. Louis Rees-Zammit, of course, is another one. I like Marcus Smith at Harlequins. He's had such a good game today. He's had such a good game today. So, yeah, I've been really, really impressed by him. Still 75 minutes on the clock. Not long to go in this one at all. It's not been a classic, has it? Let's say. But if Sale can try and convert it, they win the game. So it could literally be that. I think you have to, with props, I think Tad Furlong certainly comes into the mention. I think maybe the likes of someone like Owen Franks probably comes into the mind, but he's a little bit older these days. But he's still a quality player. Someone else I shout, Ramiro Herrera at Argentina, had a fantastic 2015 World Cup and has been doing well since. There's a few options out there, absolutely a few options out there. Kyle Sinclair's shown that he can be very explosive, very good, but has he got the temperament for it? That's another question. So there's a few options out there, that's for sure. Ooh. Not long to go in this one now. 76 minutes. Sale scrum on halfway. They need to get something from this play, you'd think. AJ McGinty is going to kick for the corner here. This is really last minute now, 78 minutes in now. If Sale are going to get anything from this game, they need to get it here now. Quins need to defend for their lives. Brandon Smith, hello, mate. How are you doing? Yes, we know each other very well. We know each other very well. Welcome to the stream, pal. We need to collab at some point. We absolutely do. I know we do different content, but it'd be good to collab with you, brother. Just give me a shout. I don't know this guy, Roos Tuami. I'm not sure who he is. I'm not going to lie. Let me know about him. What kind of player is he? But this game is hotting up now. The last 2 minutes of the game here. And that's probably it now. Taken by Diaga. The drive came, the ball was dropped, knock on by Sale at the back of the maul. And Simmons over the top, knocking it free. Scrum for Quins in their 22. If they can just keep the ball here, they've probably done it. They've probably managed to do it. Absolutely. We've got a collab, brother. Find me on my socials. I'll leave a link in the chat here for you to get in touch with me. There we go. That's my Twitter. You guys, if you want to go follow it, you can do that. You can follow me on my Twitter. That's where I'll post a lot of my videos and a lot of content. And Brandon Smith, who says he's the king, we'll see for how long. But yeah, hit me up there and we'll definitely collab. Louis says that sums it up. It really does, doesn't it? It really does. It's just been a sloppy performance from Sale. It really has been. I do have Insta. Yes, I will put a link in the chat here now. I don't post as nearly enough as I need to, but I will put it in the chat here. If you want to follow my socials, you absolutely can. There it is. That's my Instagram. If you wish to go and follow it, you can do. Jack Hopper with a comment there. He's very good. He used to go to school with his younger brother. If he carries on the way he is playing, wouldn't be surprised if he would become an England's number 8 future. Someone to keep an eye on. I have done a video on the top 5 Welsh youngsters who have come through over the last year or so, people to keep an eye on. I'll link it again here in the chat. I will do something similar for England, but I will need people to tell me about players who are worth keeping an eye out on, really. Who's going to be the youngsters to take England to the next level? Let me just let me copy this into the chat, and then you can see it. I'll copy that into there. That's the video on the Welsh youngsters that you can check out if you want to check that out. That is linked in the chat for you to go and see. Absolutely. I'll be in touch with you, mate. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Take care. Keep up the great content, and I will be in touch very shortly with you. And this game is very, very close to completion now. There it is, full time, ladies and gentlemen. It is 16 points to 10 from Sale Sharks. Have lost this one. It's a big win. Big win for Quins. Sale, though, do remain second. I will show the table now. I'll jump across to that. We'll share my screen so we can check this out for the final time before we look to leave. We'll jump across to that in just a second. Thank you so much for joining. We are nearly at the end of our stream, but we've had a fantastic first stream in a very long time. It's been a while, but we've had our stream. Right, let me share my screen so you can see. Here we go. Here is the table. So Exeter remain top, of course. Sale then sit in second, while Quins sit in seventh. 1-5, lost 7, drawn 1 so far. But it's these two teams, isn't it? It's these two teams, Sale and Exeter. It's theirs, really. Bristol are there as well, of course. Northampton could be there, but it's really between these two teams. And really, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see how teams respond to, of course, to coming back after COVID and everything like that. Not played professionally for 5 months. It's tough, man. It is very, very tough. So that is the table for you. There we go. Do Sale get a losing bonus point? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, Louis. I'm not too sure on that one. But that is it. Full time right there. Absolutely far from a classic, but Harlequins won't care. They picked up a big scalp and a big win on their Premiership return. Sale were disappointed and they missed the chance to close the gap on leaders Exeter. And it's a victory for Quins as Rugby Union is back. If not quite really with a bang, but it's back finally. And that's the main thing, is that we've got rugby back. Louis, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and chatting rugby. Absolutely loved it. Make sure you turn those notifications on, subscribe, all that good stuff, just so that you're up to date with anything that goes on the channel. See you again on the stream very, very soon. I'm going to clock off soon as well. But thank you, mate. Been an absolute pleasure. Take it easy. Jack Hopper, I absolutely will do that probably later this evening. I will have a look at Russ Tuuma. Definitely will check him out. But yeah, that is full time. 16 points to 10. It's a win for Quins. They'll absolutely take it. And we've got some big games coming tomorrow. Just a couple of things to plug before I go. Of course, Welsh Rugby Roundup show with 3 Blokes Ball and a bod it is coming very, very soon. Has had its first show. That is really, really exciting that we've done that. That went really, really well. So if you're into Welsh Rugby or just rugby in general, that's a fantastic show. I'll leave a link in the chat. Jack Hopper, thank you so much, mate. Have a good holiday, buddy. I'll try and relax a little bit and have some time off by the beach, and we'll check in on the next live stream. Mate, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great having opportunities to chat with you about rugby. Take it easy, brother, and I will catch you again very, very soon. And I think that's pretty much where I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you so much for joining. It's been absolutely brilliant to be here with you. I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been good. It's been good to be back and finally having some live rugby to watch. So it's been good. Okay, guys, that's why I'm going to clock out. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, like the video, share the video, hit that notifications bell. Thanks so much for engaging in the chat, for watching all the way through or watching at parts. It's been really good. And I will hopefully get a stream going on at some point over the next week or so as well. But lots of videos coming your way very shortly here on the Brian Smith Rugby page. Take care. Peace.